As another year closes, we take a look at some of the greatest movies of 2023. Some of which we'll agree on, others you'll want to strike me and think, what's wrong with this? So let's get into this year's movies' best offerings. In at number 10, we have here Thanksgiving. It wasn't too long ago to where you couldn't pay me to watch a horror movie, but with a newfound appreciation, here we are. I'm not really a fan of Eli Roth's past work, but this was a real genuine surprise with some very creative kills, helping it feel a lot more uneasy and unnerving, especially the turkey. This was a real joy to get through, and a real potential here to turn into something special. In at number 9, we have Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. A movie I was pretty late to myself, but a one I knew I needed to catch this in the cinema before it left, and I'm definitely glad I made that decision. A pretty typical Mission Impossible movie. Tom Cruise doing Tom Cruise things, mad stunts that nobody in their right mind should do, and some good old fashioned spy work. Although not doing really too great at the box office. But let's be honest, that doesn't really mean too much. There is no doubt that there is a lot of fun to be had in this film, and putting a lot more shame on a franchise that also has 9 movies. Fast and Furious. Next up here we have number 8, Leave the World Behind. I'd been hearing mixed things on this movie, and well, I finally got round to it, and yeah, I thought it was alright. The one thing that I think this movie does very well is it builds suspense, seemingly always building to something mysterious. If you don't like abrupt endings, you may want to stay away from this one, because this is a lot of time to spend here on this movie with what happens. But I enjoy ambiguous endings and movies that have you questioning afterwards. Now we have here at number 7, Evil Dead Rise. Yet another horror, and this one being even more unlike me. I'm not a huge fan of gore, and this film does have quite a bit in it. But you can only respect how well this movie has been done, with of course that absolutely fantastic opening sequence, but also amazing performances throughout. I haven't seen any other Evil Dead films, but this one most certainly piqued my interest for the past and the future. Coming in next year at number 6, we have The Killer. It's almost like this movie was made for me. I absolutely love these kind of movies, and well, Michael Fassbender was a perfect casting choice as a cold, calculated killer. It's kind of although David from Prometheus became an assassin. Being based on a French comic book, and well, the story for a character like this may just go a route that you wouldn't expect. David Fincher, one of my personal favourite directors, is a perfect fit to do this film. It's a very slow movie, but if you're a fan of things such as The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I highly recommend you check The Killer out. Okay, maybe quite a bit of a controversial one. I've heard rave reviews about this movie. Coming in here at number 5, we have Godzilla Minus One. Well, I thought it was pretty decent. 2 gleaming negatives for me personally is, one of them being I was really teetering on the edge of boredom for the first 30 minutes, and well, I'm sorry, but I could not take Godzilla serious when he done any walking at all, looking like the Tin Man low on oil. But the latter of the movie, wow. When Godzilla fires that blue fire breath, I was absolutely awestruck. I mean, that was incredible. Massively impressive on such a budget, and I do believe overall this is so much better than anything that Hollywood has done with the creature. Coming here at number 4, we have maybe another controversial one and the biggest surprise for me on the list, Saltburn. I was remarkably underwhelmed by the trailer, and I thought this was just going to be some artsy fartsy thing. Which was partly correct, however though, you can't deny how beautifully shot this movie is, and as the time goes on throughout, and as some of the secrets unravel, this movie really gets quite bizarre. That is a huge understatement, by the way. If you've seen this film, this might sound a little pretty weird, but the ending absolutely made it for me. Really, to be honest, the best way that I could describe this movie to you is if Patrick Bateman was British and he went to Oxford University. If that sounds interesting, make sure you check out Saltburn. Next in the list here, we have at number 3, John Wick Chapter 4. It's no secret that I love these movies. I am unashamedly a John Wick fanboy, and this movie is the perfect thing to show people why that is. Cinematography is obviously outstanding and very creative ways to shoot, camera work and otherwise. along with just somehow more outstanding stunts and action that we've never really seen, and these movies just keep elevating the level so high. I personally do think that number 1 is better, but this is a close second with chapter 2. Here we are at number 2 now. We have Barbie. If you were to have said to me that Barbie was going to be getting in my top 10 list at all, never mind above John Wick, I would have been like, are you crazy? But I had an amazing time and an absolute blast with this movie. I would say more so because of Ryan Gosling and his underappreciated comedy chops. No mistake about it that everybody puts on an amazing performance, bringing all of these characters to life. Listen, I love the music and it fits so perfectly well with the scenes, and it's just the perfect film to put on if you just want a good, happy time. And it's got some real heart to its core. Before we get to the big number 1 reveal, I want to give some honourable mentions here. First up, we have Cobweb. An interesting film in its own right, with a couple of really creepy moments and, at least for me, not an overly predictable ending. The next honourable mention is Killers of the Flower Moon. Long, it's pretty fair to say, but this film deserves to have much more to its name than just that. Phenomenal performances and a real important story for the people involved to be told and seen. And lastly here, possibly in my opinion, the best animation of the year is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Bringing the Ninja Turtles to life with real individual personalities in a popular animation style, really adding to the character and charm. Jackie Chan making this film a worthy watch just in himself. Okay, here we are. Number 1, we have Oppenheimer. Yep, I'm that guy. I am a Nolan fanboy. After the likes of Tenet, it was a real joy to see Christopher Nolan come back down to reality and bring a smaller scale film to the big screen, which sounds a little crazy to say considering it's a movie about an atomic bomb. 3 hours that I can honestly say I was truly invested into every minute of it. Undoubtedly greatly due to Cillian Murphy's outstanding performance here as Oppenheimer, and in my opinion most certainly deserves to get that Best Actor Oscar. With the cast of Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt and so much more, this could only be expected. A true spectacle of a movie, and that silent beauty when the test bomb goes off and setting the scene for the true devastation of what has just been created. A rather important film I feel for many reasons that I will leave you to discover for yourself in the movie of the year. Do you agree with this list, or would you add or remove anything from this list? Do let me know down in the comments and I will see you in the next one.